changing.
Good evening and welcome to Real Fellas Talk Sports. My name is Larry Abels and I'm your host for tonight. And I'm here with a distinguished panel of panelists. So let me, without further ado, introduce them. First, we're going to start with Mr. Greg Finner. How are you, Greg?
Hey, man, I'm feeling more like a veteran. I'm the rookie of the group, and I'm feeling more like a veteran every day, brother.
Well, we're going to get you the ball as soon as possible, man. You'll feel even more at home. Next, I'm going to go to a friend of mine for, let's say, a few decades. You know? We're trying to pass for young boys of 55. Me and Chuck Snowden. How you doing, Chuck?
Hey, Larry, I'm doing good. I'm looking forward to the show. You guys are looking great this evening. Can't wait to cut it up. The Week in Sports.
And let's go with the loquacious one from Indianapolis, Mr. David Burnett. How are you today, sir?
Feeling very loquacious right now, Larry. By the way, I'm in the Sports Center, the home of Indianapolis, the king of sports, the sports capital of the universe. And it's a broad universe, too.
Glad to have you aboard, brother.
All right, thank you.
So let's get started. There are no more undefeated teams in the NFL. So, David, we're going to start with you. Denver and Philadelphia. What happened in that game?
Philadelphia took their foot off the gas. I'm not as concerned about what's going on in Philadelphia, but it just seems like the media and everybody else gets all hyped and concerned with what's going on with the Eagles. Well, they're the defending Super Bowl champion. They've been in the Super Bowl 2 out of the last 3 years and won 1. I'm not concerned. But everybody likes to pick on the Eagles. I'm not concerned. Denver came back. They played well. I hate their coach. Y'all know that. But I got to give Denver credit for staying in the game. And that quarterback is playing very well.
Patrick Lee, thanks a lot for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Just real quickly on Patrick, I work with him from time to time. Good young man. I call him a kid because he's half my age, but he is an adult and he's a sports fanatic. Thanks for watching, Patrick.
Thanks, Patrick.
Greg, what your thoughts on the game, Denver and Philadelphia?
So I think, unlike David, I think it is time for a little concern because every week they look a little flatter every week. And no disrespect to Denver. They played well. You're right, David. The quarterback is coming along, but this offensive coordinator, I've said it before, he has the imagination of a third grader. He is not using his weapons. They have great skill players, and it's just a matter of time before things erupt. But he's got to get these guys in the game. He's not using his tools, man. He's not.
Chuck, what's your spin on it?
Yeah, I agree with Greg, and I differ a little from David. Look, they have been winning, but they've been winning not very dominantly. They've just barely been winning, a bounce here, a bounce there. The first game of the season, they just beat the Cowboys 24-20. Here's the thing. There must be some big-time injuries along their front line because they can't get Saquon off. They're not even giving him the ball in the second half of the game. The numbers are not great. Their defense is a little shaky. They gave up 18 unanswered points in that game to win the game. And I do give Denver and their team and coach credit for going for that 2-point conversion instead of the point after attempt, which meant when Philly got the ball back late in the game, they had to go for a touchdown versus going for a field goal. So there's some concern. Look, I thought when the season started, I thought it was Philly and everybody else was a distance between everybody else in the NFC. I think the Commanders and even the Cowboys, we're pretty close to Philly, and that's really interesting to see how that works itself out.
Let's not
Can I
get
say one
carried
more thing,
away.
Larry?
Go ahead, Greg.
To further emphasize my point, even though the Chiefs lost, think about the creativity. The plays that they came up with were so creative and so different. Now, they didn't all go for touchdowns or 50 yards, but if the Eagles did half of that, if they had half of that creativity, you might have seen a different outcome Sunday.
It sounds like we're talking style points. Look, they're 4-1. They are leading their division. They are the defending Super Bowl champions, and I'm not scared at all.
So, David, while I have you here, I don't know if you're aware, but the offensive players had a meeting today, particularly the skill players, because I think they were a little concerned.
Well, they're concerned in Philly. They booed Santa Claus.
No, I'm talking about the offensive players themselves, though.
The environment of Philadelphia as a city and a region is like that. And they ought to just be happy that they are 4-1, defending Super Bowl champions, been to the Super Bowl 2 out of the last 4 years. They're a good team. They'll find a way to fix this. I'm confident of that. They'll be playing Colts in the Super Bowl.
Chuck, the fact that Philly's players took it upon themselves to have a meeting, Saquon Barkley started it. And one thing, they threw a lot of targets to wide receivers and a tight end. Actually, Barkley even caught a touchdown pass. They only ran the ball like 9 times or something like that. So when the players took it upon themselves, did that make you think that perhaps they're here thinking?
I think it started a week or two ago, Larry. In other words, Hurts, he hadn't completed in one of those games. He didn't complete a pass in the second half. He was 0 for 9, right? So I think this week they overcompensated. And like you said, the tight end had 9 targets. Brown had 8 targets. Smith had 6 targets. Saquon had 3 targets, and yet he didn't get the ball. He hasn't had a 100-yard game this year. His numbers are his rush. I mean, that guy had 2,000 yards last year, and they haven't gotten him off. So, yes, you're right, David. They're 4-1, but there's some concern in my opinion.
Okay.
Okay, let's move to the other undefeated team, or formerly undefeated team, Buffalo versus New England. Greg, any thoughts on that game?
I can see that one coming. Vrabel has turned the Patriots around. He's the right man for that job. And it was just something about the Bills during that game. It's like you can't see belief, but it seemed like they didn't believe. And the Patriots, man, they had all the confidence in the world. They were getting after it. So, yeah, I can see that one coming. I can see that one coming like early in the game. Like, yeah, they're saying a good night for the Bills.
David, did that result surprise you?
Not really. The coach is good. Vrabel is a good coach. He's solid. It's a whole different transformation. And Buffalo can't stay on top forever. But one loss is not the end of a season for Buffalo. Just like, nobody's calling for the dismissal of the coach. Nobody's saying that the quarterback is ineffective. Buffalo's a great team. No team has been undefeated in 50 years, 52 years. So you got to lose it sometime, but I'm not concerned.
Is that the same suit, Andrew?
Are you sold on May?
Andrew?
David, are you sold on a quarterback for the Patriots, May?
Drake May is pretty good. He's a young quarterback. He's, as long as he doesn't screw it up, doesn't do more than he's able to do at this point of his career. This is second season, right?
Yep.
I'm impressed. Vrabel's a defensive-minded coach, and I hate that description of coaches because it gets all convoluted because of what coaches actually have to do. But he's demanding excellence, and they're gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine.
Okay, Andrew, thanks for joining us, buddy. Good to hear from you.
Thank you, Andrew. Good to see you, big fella.
Good to
Chuck,
see
what
you.
did you think of that game?
So I was shocked. Look, the Raiders have won one game. They beat the Patriots in New England.
Game one.
This game was in Buffalo. So I was really surprised. But there was a factor that impacted this game, even though he didn't have a touchdown. Steph Diggs used to play for Buffalo, right? And he circled this game on his game calendar, if you will. and he played his butt off. And they went to him. He had 10 catches. I think he had 12 targets, and he had 150 yards. Got some big first downs, and it meant something to him. So I thought that was the secret sauce in that game. But I was surprised now.
And Diggs was all up and down the sideline encouraging people the whole game. He was on fire the whole game.
He was into it like a star player, the kind of money he's making, he should make. And so there you go.
Mark Downs, longtime buddy. How you doing, Mark? Thanks for tuning in.
Leave us alone, Mark, but thanks for tuning in. My goodness.
Well, Greg, did you think Buffalo may have gave that game away with their mistakes? Any chance of that?
The turnovers didn't help, but I would go back to something also that David said about Drake May. They're not asking too much of him. I think you can ask too much of some of these young quarterbacks, and you put them in a position to make mistakes. But yeah, Buffalo made some really big. I thought they made some costly mistakes at the wrong time. Yeah. Just bad timing.
Yeah, Keon Coleman had a bad fumble after he had made a catch on the 11. Yeah. The other thing is Buffalo. Keon Coleman is a good receiver. They just don't have a good second receiver. Like they could use. I don't know if they're going to try to make a trade or try to pick somebody up, but they could use a receiver. To be honest with you,
my view, it looked like every time whatever could go wrong, Murphy's Law was going wrong for Buffalo.
Right.
And I got to give Mayer, he made that play where he completed the Diggs when they were dragging him down. That was a great play. I thought he was throwing the ball away.
Yeah. And they didn't, and I'll tell you too, and again, this is nitpicking, but they didn't have Ed Oliver. Ed Oliver is their run stuffer up front, and he also can penetrate in terms of pass rush. He wasn't there either. I'm noticing now in the NFL, man, this attrition thing, if you don't have the depth, a lot of these teams are losing their star players and their quality starters. And if your depth players aren't there,
let me offer some insight, or at least what I think is insight on why these injuries are happening and why the depth is not what it is. They're not practicing like they used to. They're not hitting. They're not getting the kind of physical activity that they used to in an effort to save the players. Well, the reality is the players are going to play. Let them play. You learn things in practice on Wednesday and Thursday that are valuable assets going in on Sunday. And they're not getting that anymore.
David's right.
That's a part of it.
David, do you think the lack of preseason reps has anything to do with it? A lot of teams look weak. Like Detroit didn't look good this first week. Chuck just said the Patriots didn't look good their first week.
Well, we grew up in a time when they played 6 preseason games. 6.
Exactly.
A total of 20 games for altogether. And the reality is preseason, I don't think matters as much as during the week, because how much do they actually hit on Tuesday? Tuesday's usually the return day. Wednesday and Thursday are the hard practice days, or what used to be hard practice days. They don't have them anymore. Yeah. They're running around with the little special caps on their head.
David,
those are to prevent concussions, David.
Well, I mean, then why don't they wear them in the game when they're really hitting?
Some do.
David,
I was with Mark Schlereth, who played for the Redskins and the Broncos a couple weeks ago. He was in town. He and Daryl are really good friends. He said the exact same thing that you said verbatim. He said these players are not feeling any contact until week 1 of the regular season. They're not. He said they're not game physical ready. They're just not ready. And but I can see the other side of the argument, because if Jaden Daniels goes out in a preseason game and blows a knee, the fans will be staked out on Coach Quinn's front lawn. They will be burning his kids a swing set down. So, but to Mark's point, he said it's football, man. Injuries gonna happen. Whether they happen in practice or game, they're gonna happen. But these guys cannot hit the regular season not having had any contact until game 1. That was he made the same thing.
All I can say is Johnny Unitas, Bart Starr, Roman Gabriel, they played a full season,
Yeah.
got hit like hell. I'm just saying. I don't know everything.
They don't make people like they used to, huh?
No, they don't.
So, Greg, since you brought up the Commanders, why don't we pivot to that? Commanders and Chargers. Now, I had to eat a little crow last week when I was naming my top 5 teams. I picked both Los Angeles teams as 4 and 5. Neither of them in my top 5 now.
Right.
But what did you think of the Commanders after falling behind 10-0 and coming back with 27 straight points?
So, hail to the defense, man. That's a potent offense. We can hold them to 10 points. I mean, that was a big thing. And what I could see, just when I'm ready to crown the quarterback Herbert, like maybe he's an elite quarterback, he proved once again that if you really thump him a few times, he'll fall like a lawn chair, and that's what he did. But I'm telling you, I just believe, boy, if you got Jaden Daniels behind center, you got a chance. You got a chance, man. This dude makes plays. He makes lemonade out of lemons. He figures out a way to do it every time. The Chargers look so regular. They look so regular. He looks so regular. I loved it. I loved it, man.
David, did you get a chance to see any of that game?
I saw some of the highlights. At this point in time, the Chargers have been overemphasized. Jim Harbaugh, he's got the answer. Well, bullshit. He doesn't have the answers. The Commanders are a pretty good team. I remember hearing a little murmuring the last couple of weeks about what the Commanders doing, and one of you said that the coach wasn't all that. I disagree. Dan Quinn is pretty damn good.
The offensive coordinator, right?
Kingsbury.
Well, Cliff Kingsbury ought to be only an offensive coordinator, but he ought to keep his mouth shut and design some plays. Commanders are a pretty good team.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Chuck, your thoughts
Well,
on that
I've
game?
got some thoughts on this game, big time.
Let's hear it.
So, first of all, and this is a big one. First of all, we get a big break when Chargers went to tried to block the punt that we punted from the end zone.
The end zone, yeah.
And the Commanders tried to punt from the end zone, and the Chargers, because he was from the 1 yard line, so the Chargers thought they could block it. They hit the kicker. Now, the Chargers took that punt back for a touchdown.
Yeah.
So, in other words, they took the 7 points off the board. We got a penalty, so we got off the 1 yard line, got out into the field, and we subsequently got 3 points out of that drive. So I thought that was a big turnaround. That's first. Yeah. Secondly, the Chargers, both their all-pro right tackle and left tackle, didn't play. They didn't play. And then their backup got hurt during the game too. So that guy Herbert didn't have much time. And then finally, we have a great little running back named, we call him Bill. I guess his name is something Merritt, close. Wait, anyway, we call him Bill. He is a great little running back. And the 2 sweeps that he scored touchdowns on, there wasn't a Charger in sight. Like, I don't know how in the world he can run a sweep, and there literally was not a Charger in the screen. So I think injuries, poor performance on the Charger side, good execution on our side, and I do call Jaden Daniels the Isaiah Thomas, basketball reference, of football. He is just, his numbers may not ever show how special he is.
Yeah.
He is very special. Very.
I think Washington benefited from a lot of timely calls too, not just the ones that you talked about. That was big. But a couple of times when the Chargers converted on 3rd down, penalties like back to back, So that worked out.
They had 10, and Larry, they had 10 penalties called in that game.
Yeah, and they were all like great times.
Yeah, it was a lot.
They were all on big games for the Chargers or something like that.
I mean, we held them to 0 points in the second half. We scored 27 unanswered points.
Unanswered.
We were down 10-0. I mean, they were down 10-0, just like that. And then.
Well, I was one of the ones that last week I was kind of critical of Kingsbury because one thing that I don't like about him, he calls too many planned runs for Daniels. This week, for the first time, he didn't do that because I think all he needs to do is call 1 or 2 per half planned runs. Daniels can run if he needs to scramble, but he was running almost a couple of times every possession, and I'm like, this is not going to be good for him. But
I think he started games without him, and I think it scared him, Larry. I think it scared Kingsbury. It's like, boy, if I don't have him, I may not have a job. I better be safe with him.
And the threat of him running is all you really need.
That's
you don't have to keep giving it to him. Now,
look, I get back to this guy, Bill, how he fell to the 7th round and what he looks like in terms of our team and what he brings to our team. That little guy is amazing. I know in 2012, we had a guy named Alfred Morris. He was a rookie, 6th-round pick. That year, he had 1,600 yards. I don't know if this guy's going to get 1,600 yards, but he reminds me, his impact reminds me of the same impact.
He'll still be one of the lowest paid players on that team.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, this year.
Unfortunate. Well, any year. Running backs just don't get the money they deserve.
And he's a 7th-round pick. So
right. Just like Alfred Morris was. He was driving like this Pinto or something like that when he was doing really, really well.
A Pinto, Chuck? A Pinto?
Something like that, a Vega.
Pinto right.
You're showing your age. You're showing your age. Those
it was a small car, but I don't think it was a Pinto. Hey, what are your top 5 teams? Mr. Burnett, we'll start with you.
Number 1 team in the American Football Conference, shocking, Indianapolis Colts. Tampa Bay, Philly, Buffalo, and Detroit, in no particular order. The only one I put in the proper order is the Colts, number 1. But Tampa Bay, Philly, Buffalo, Detroit.
Chuck, next time you go to Indianapolis, take the drug testing kit with you, okay?
Well, he's got his, right now, he's not, he's got to, look.
They're just a tough team. Didn't they score 40 points? Didn't they score 40 points?
He's not that far off.
Didn't they give up only 8? Am I right?
Yeah, they look
I think so.
We're gonna definitely get to them. Okay.
All right.
Chuck, who are your top teams?
Me, Detroit, Philly, the Colts. I'm throwing the Colts in there. Tampa Bay, and the Broncos.
Not Buffalo, huh?
No.
Okay, that loss really impacted you. Greg, who do you have?
So I got the Bills, the Eagles, the Commanders, the Buccaneers, and the Lions.
Where are the Colts? Where are they?
The Commanders.
If I lived in India,
when you test Dave, test Greg too, okay? You might need to test Greg first.
Hey, Larry, we like what we like.
Okay. 8 undefeated teams. 8 teams with only 1 loss. We've spent a lot of time talking about Buffalo, Detroit, and Philadelphia. So let's talk about some of those other teams. Number 1, on my list, I want to talk about the Indianapolis Colts. So, David, here's your chance. How good are they?
They're really good, provided a number of things happen properly. If Jonathan Taylor can keep running the way he's been running, he's still the leading rusher in the NFL. If Daniel Jones can still stay calm, I know he's thrown a couple of picks lately, but he's only 2 interceptions. He's still the number 1 passer in the NFL statistically. That $40 million still rubs Chuck wrong, but they're stopping teams. They only gave up 8 points the other night against the Raiders. And I know the Raiders are a dumpster fire. Sorry, except for Charles Snowden III.
That's right.
But the Colts are for real.
Okay. Chuck, you've been on the Colts.
I don't disagree with David. I'd add one other thing. They picked up this kid in the draft, this tight end guy named Warren. I think he came from Penn State. Hey, listen, he is a big part of what they do. They throw a lot of short, intermediate plays to keep the ball going down the field. He's a big part of that. And then when they get in the red zone, he's big enough they can find him in the red zone for a touchdown. He's sensational. And they have this other little receiver. His number is 1. I don't remember his name. Maybe it's Smith. This little dude, he catches and he's got all the little jitterbug moves. He's really good as well. Their defense is solid. Right now, I'd have him in my top 5 too.
Amen, Chuck.
And I'm not a Daniel Jones guy, but I got to give him kudos.
Amen.
Greg, your spin on the Colts.
I got to tell you, I'm really nervous about when Daniel Jones collapses.
No.
I mean, we got so used to seeing it at the Giants, but maybe he really has been born again, washed in the blood of the Lamb. Maybe so. But I will tell you, Jonathan Taylor, I cannot say enough about Jonathan Taylor.
Stay healthy.
He has been a beast since the day he stepped into the NFL, and I think he balances things out. He makes Daniel Jones' job a lot easier.
100%.
I think the Colts and the Buccaneers are two good one-loss teams. I think Philly's the best one-loss team. But I tell you, I did not expect to be a one-loss team right now is the Steelers. I did not expect.
You will get your chance to comment on all of those things.
Okay. All right.
Let me ask you something, Greg, about Daniel Jones. I hear a lot of comments about him. Is it possible that he was just with a horrible team and he's gotten a little experience behind him and now he's with some good players?
100%. 100%.
Not that bad.
And here's the thing. He could always run. He's always been a good runner. A running quarterback in NFL now is one more thing that defensive coordinators have to plan for. If you're a pocket passer, that's why Herbert can run, but he doesn't like to run. I don't think he likes to run. But if Daniel Jones likes to run, but I think he's really good at choosing when to run and when to stay in the pocket. He's shown some real guts in Indy, man. He's taking some hits on some passes this year.
Well, one thing about Daniel Jones to keep in mind, a couple of those years in New York, Saquon Barkley was hurt, and he didn't provide the assistance that Daniel Jones needed as a quarterback.
Yeah.
And I just want to make sure that that's known.
And no offensive line. You saw how both of them improved once they left here.
Right.
That's a good point about the offensive line in Indianapolis as well. Daniel Jones is clean. I mean, they're not even getting close to him, at least in the game I saw on Sunday. They're not even getting close. And he's not trying to do too much. He's just hitting the open man. So Colts look pretty good right now.
So real quick, everyone, the Colts play the Cardinals this week. Who wins that game, Chuck?
The Colts.
David.
Colts.
Greg.
Hey, that's a trifecta. Colts.
I think they're going to win too, but I think that should be a pretty decent game.
Hey, so Larry, before we move to the next part of that, what does our group think about that confrontation between the Cardinals coach and the player?
I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that later. We'll get to that later.
And if we don't cover it well, I got some comments about it in closing comments too.
No, I'm going to get to that. That's on the list about. You might have seen a bullet saying the player dropping the ball before he gets to the end zone at the end.
Right.
Okay. But let's move to the Steelers. David, how do you feel about the Steelers? Are you sold on them? They're 3-1. Had a bye this week, not 4-1 like everyone else.
I think the Steelers are not bad. You know they're going to have a winning season. They already got 4 wins already. They have the best coach among the remaining one-loss teams. Mike Tomlin does not get enough credit for making sure his team is ready. He's, Aaron Rodgers, I'm not a fan, but he's serviceable now. He's not great anymore, but he's not going to make major mistakes. And that's important. He's a better quarterback than they've had in the last few years. Steelers are legitimate, and they got some help in the fact that their division is weak now. You got the Bengals weak, pitiful. The Browns, pitiful. The Ravens, more pitiful. So they're going to win that division by default.
Okay, that was a question I was going to ask Chuck. Pittsburgh, they come out of that division?
Yes. Again, it's a qualified yes, meaning if Lamar doesn't come back soon, yes. If Lamar comes back in the next week or two, no. I don't think that. I don't think that at all.
You think Baltimore has it? We're going to pivot back to Baltimore in a few minutes.
And by the way, that's another good point about the Colts. The Colts is going to be really good because they're in a weak conference as
Well,
well.
Jacksonville is 4-1. They
Jacksonville
got another. They got a 4-1 team
and the
sitting right there with
Texans
them.
are 2-2 or 2-3.
2-3.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they looked good in their game.
All right.
Colts are going to have to earn that.
Hey, Jacksonville is 4-1, Chuck, but you might be right. Greg, what do you think about Pittsburgh?
And I said it last week when we talked about MVPs, I cannot believe it. I actually mentioned Aaron Rodgers in the same sentence with MVP, but he's playing MVP level football through 4 games for them. And I'm telling you, David said pitiful for the division. I say every team other than the Steelers could qualify for FEMA relief. These guys are in disaster mode, full disaster mode. I mean, you want somewhere for the National Guard to go? Send them to either Cincinnati, Baltimore, or Cleveland, and they got work to do. I'm telling
They
you.
got help coming.
Oh,
Cincinnati has help coming. They signed Flacco. So.
Yeah,
already going to start.
yeah. When Flacco is the man with the cape and S on his chest for you, you know you're in trouble.
So Cleveland plays Pittsburgh this week. Who wins that game, Greg?
Pittsburgh will run through them like a warm dose of castor oil.
Who wins that game, Chuck?
Pittsburgh.
David.
Pittsburgh and Cleveland are longtime rivals going back to the 50s. Steelers win the game, but it's not going to be easy.
Well, while I got you here, David, let's look at the next team, which is the Jaguars are 4-1. Are you sold on Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars?
I've never been sold on Trevor Lawrence. I like him personally. I've never met him, but he seems like a nice kid. He's still got some youth on his side. And getting up off the canvas or the grass twice in the closing seconds of the game showed me something. Jacksonville, by the way, has something on the Colts that goes back a number of years. So just because they're in the same division and both teams are playing well, relatively well, I wouldn't count Jacksonville out of possibly winning that division.
Chuck, what do you think about Jacksonville?
I actually forgot about Jacksonville. So when I said the division was weak, and you're right, Jacksonville is playing well, and I think they're also using Travis Hunter judiciously. Like they use him when they need him, both on offense and on defense, and he does make a little bit of a difference. So I like the way they're managing that. I think the coach is doing a good job with that group collectively, and Trevor looks better. He does this year. He looks coached.
Any thoughts on Jacksonville, Greg?
Yes, sir. So Trevor Lawrence showed some heart. When you can fall down twice and get up and do what he did, that's not necessarily raw skeletal. That's just heart, man. That's just getting after it. And Travis Hunter, I'm telling you, this guy is a playmaker. He made plays. He's fired up. He's energetic. He's getting that team fired up. And by the way, as Trevor Lawrence is stumbling and fumbling and bumbling, Chris Jones is saying, wow, look at that. This is quite a play. Wow, what a play. This kid may be on to something. Like, can you pass me the popcorn? Who's got the popcorn? I'm watching.
The whole national media, everybody's on Chris Jones. He was just standing around.
He was.
He was standing around like I was standing around on the sideline at Ball State.
Right.
But I think the other thing about Jacksonville, I believe, I look at Jacksonville's coach and young Schottenheimer. It's something about the energy these guys bring that's, and it's not all X's and O's. It's it's how they relate to the Tommies and Joes, right? It's a little different how they interact with these people, and they get them wanting to play, and you can tell when they say a coach has lost the locker room, he don't have that kind of juice with him anymore, and it's time for him to go. It's not the X's and O's; it's this little stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, Greg, they play Seattle this week, which I think will probably be a pretty interesting matchup. Who do you think will win that game? Seattle's 3-2.
So I'm not so fired up about the Jaguars against Seattle. I'm pretty fired up about them right now, but Seattle's playing some good, solid football, man. They really are. So, yeah, I you know what? I probably would go with Seattle by 3. I'd take Seattle by 3.
David, who do you like in that game?
I would take Jacksonville, but Seattle is playing very well. They got a good quarterback right now. there's something about what they've done to just transform that team and that franchise.
Yeah.
They've gone from one old coach to another younger coach. They've got another quarterback. They're kind of in harmony. And the 13th man, their fans are in it again. They're energized.
Who do you like in that game, Chuck?
I like Seattle. I've liked Seattle, period. I know Seattle's lost 2 tough games. I think this week they lost, 38, 35?
That was the game of the week.
It was both quarterbacks had over 350 yards. It was a shootout. It was, so I like Seattle.
Okay.
So, but that's a good game. That's a 4-1 team against a 3-2 team.
It's interesting because Sam Darnold completed 83% of his passes.
Except
Baker Mayfield completed 84% of his.
Right.
He's got heart. Baker has so much heart.
I was watching that game. Oh my goodness, red zone. They were dominating red zone.
Both those quarterbacks make 33 million a year. Both those quarterbacks. Who would you take? Tua? Oh, would you take the guy from Jacksonville? Oh, would you take who's the other $55 million a year dude? I mean, those two guys, those two quarterbacks right there make $33 million a year.
And that's within the Chuck Snowden fairness.
Exactly.
All I care is whether they can play or not.
Well, I know you do, but you have to, yeah.
If they can play, they can't play. I want to sit them down.
I wonder what would happen in your neighborhood, Larry, if the house your next door neighbor sold for half the price in terms of comparable, how you would feel about it. You know what I'm saying? I know we don't care about prices and how.
I would care about mine. I would care about mine.
Right.
If they can get twice as much more possible, long as
I don't know if I explained that right, but I'm just saying.
No, your point is if somebody next door to me got say twice as much for their house as I got for mine, long as I got what I wanted for mine, I would be fine with it.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah, I'd be pissed. I'd be marching on City Hall.
Ding, 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 ding.
So you should be pissed at yourself for not knowing what you want for your house.
Amen.
That's the key.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason.
you sign for what you want. Okay, so the other team I have, Buccaneers.
Like that.
Speaking of the Buccaneers, they just pulled off a great win. What do you think about them? Chuck, we'll start with you.
There's such a level of toughness, man. They just got a level of toughness that I really like. And you can't, I don't know what to say about that. He doesn't maybe look the part in terms of big and strong and flowing hair and big arm, but man, his heart is huge. And that Tampa Bay and Bowles, they don't get enough credit, do they? And every year they're right there, aren't they? Every year they're right there.
Yeah. David, your thoughts on Tampa Bay?
Tampa Bay has won all 4 of their games in the last couple of possessions.
Yep.
And I've got to give them credit that shows heart. And the real heart of that team is Baker Mayfield. I've never been a big Baker Mayfield fan. I like his commercials. I like his energy. I like his
commercials.
Yeah, you got to be able to do a good commercial. That means you're articulate, relatively speaking. But I think Tampa Bay is a team to be reckoned with, and they if they win the NFC, don't be shocked. If they beat Philadelphia in the NFC championship game, don't be shocked.
They beat them before in the playoffs.
Greg, what do you think about Tampa this year?
Well, first, I think they're going to have to beat the Commanders in the NFC Championship game.
Hello.
But we'll come back to that. But I think, I think Baker Mayfield is, again, born again, washed in the blood of the Lamb, brother. This dude is, I had given up on him in Cleveland. I was like, this, and I'm like you, David, great commercials. Man, these commercials, they were priceless. I don't even like commercials, but I loved his. I thought they were hilarious. Right. When and I've seen him do things in Tampa Bay that just displayed nothing but guts, just a drive to win. And that's what you got to do. If you want to win a Super Bowl, that's the way you have to be. It can't be any in between. You got to get after it every play. I love them, man. I think they're going a long way. Long.
I agree.
David, you
agree.
brought up a point that really struck me. 4 wins in the last possessions. That's Patrick Mahomes stuff. That's the type of stuff that he does,
There was a guy named Jaden Daniels last year.
Yeah. But I mean, he's pulling it out of the rabbit out of the hat. And I like his commercial, especially the book club one. That was my favorite.
Oh my God. I'm telling you, priceless.
Okay, I'm gonna switch to another team. The 49ers. They beat one of the other teams that I had in my top 5 last week, the Rams, last Thursday night. They're 4-1. And they've got quarterback injuries. Chuck, what do you think about that team?
So I think they're very well coached. And this is another one of those areas in terms of the quarterback, right? So Garoppolo went to the Super Bowl. Now Matt Jones looks good running this thing. Brock Purdy is getting $55 million. Get out of here. He might not even get his job back. He might not get the job.
Oh, he'll get his job back.
I don't know. If they win again this week, that's 4. I think that would be 4 in a row for this Mac Jones guy. And they beating good teams. It's the system that they run out there. Brock Purdy ain't no $55 million a year quarterback.
Oh, Lord. Here we go.
Greg, what do you think about the 49ers?
Listen, I think nobody has benefited more from the effectiveness of the NFLPA like quarterbacks and like Brock Purdy. The NFLPA is his secret sauce. He's not a $55 million quarterback, but he's what the league demands. I mean, if you're a starting quarterback and you want to win, that's what you get. I'm not sold on the 49ers yet. I'm sold on a few players, but I'm not sold on them as now. They throttled the Rams. They beat them soundly. That was a really well played football game, and I'm sold on the coach.
Shanahan.
Yeah, I'm sold on Shanahan as a coach. That guy is really, really good. He's really good. And to your point, Chuck, he's getting the most out of these marginal quarterbacks. He's getting a lot out of them because he's asking them to do things within their skill set, and the timing is always right. So I'm not sold on them as a team, but man, you gotta love how they play, how they put it all together when they need.
They might have the longest injury list in the National Football League.
Yeah, that's the thing. And David, to that point, with all the injuries they've had, and they still win.
Well, they got to.
Did you buy into them?
No, they're frauds. No.
And they had the same record as the coach. Just throwing it out.
The coach will kick their ass.
Uh-oh.
You know me. Shanahan. Anybody named Shanahan, I don't like. So the whole Shanahan family, all the way to Ireland.
Wow.
I don't care for them.
Okay. So this next question is: the Bucs and the 49ers play each other this week. So David, we'll start with you. Who wins that game?
Tampa Bay.
Chuck.
Where's that game, Larry? Do you remember?
I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah, I like Tampa Bay.
Greg.
Tampa Bay is going to beat up on them. They're too physical for them. And by the way, one of the other things that secret sauce of the 49ers is John Lynch. That GM, he's a really good GM.
Organization. The whole organization.
Exactly. He's a big deal, but there won't be enough against the Buccaneers. Won't be enough.
Let's see. They play in Tampa.
Yeah.
I like Tampa.
Done.
I got to take my hat off to them because
It's
anytime you hear that many injuries and you continue to win, I mean,
Yeah.
I got to take my hat off to them.
Yeah.
Okay. Baltimore Ravens.
Oh.
I think I'm not 100% sure, but I would be willing to bet all of us thought that they were a legitimate AFC candidate for the championship. Chuck, how do we get here 1-4? What's wrong with them?
Well, I saw something the other day that said their top 6 or top 7 players. I don't know if that's by salary or whatever it is. The top 7 players, the way they measured that, are all injured for the Ravens. And it's just the margin of error is just too much to overcome, in my opinion. And so unless Lamar gets back, who can make up for some of that with Derrick Henry back there, but if he doesn't come back,
Now, is he going to help them on defense? They're giving up 35 points a game.
they'll do just like Dallas, right? He's going to have to outscore the other teams.
Okay. David, any chance of Baltimore coming back, or are they
They're
done?
done.
You sticking a fork in them?
They're done. They're done. They're done.
How did we get here?
They can't stop anybody. They cannot stop anybody. And Derrick Henry, as great a running back as he is, has got fumble problems. Lamar Jackson, injury concerns. It's a dysfunctional team. But in defense of the Ravens, they've been very good for a number of years. John Harbaugh's in his 18th season as coach. He's an outstanding coach. You can't win all the time.
Right.
And I think this is just an example of it. They'll be better next season, but this season, they need to prepare for Dubai or someplace like that for vacation.
Can they wait till the end of the season? Or are they already there?
Some of the players need to leave now.
Greg, how do you think about the team up the road from here?
Bro, if I had a bugle, I'd be blowing taps right now. I mean, they are so. And whoever decided not to draft Shedeur Sanders made a big mistake. He would have been a good backup just for some more excitement or a Lamar-like backup. This backup quarterback they have now, this dude is dreadful, man. He is dreadful.
Cooper Rush.
He is dreadful. And they have I'm convinced that they've given up on Derrick Henry. They have decided that his fumbles are just too costly, and I don't think they trust him with the ball anymore, which is a shame. And I don't believe that, but it looks like that's where they are.
I agree with you on that. If I got him on the team,
He's getting the ball. He's getting the ball.
He's gonna get the ball. He's built up enough goodwill. But I don't know. I think their problem is largely on defense. And Chuck, most of those guys that are injured are defensive players, and they just can't stop anybody.
The other thing, Larry, they never gave up big plays before. They give up a lot of big plays now. They never did that. That's never been their legacy or their calling card is to give up big plays. They give up a lot of big plays.
But recently, even in the fourth quarter, even last year and the year before, teams came back in the fourth quarter and beat them at the buzzer type thing.
Big plays, man.
I don't know.
Greg, you brought this team up earlier. How do you think Kansas City's going to do? They're 2-3.
So again, and I'll go back to my Mark Twain quote: "Rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated." They're not done, and you look at they're losing games the same way they won a lot of games before. So it's a very thin line. They're not getting blown out. They're not getting destroyed. And I still see the creativity. I still see the ability to win. They're not dominating anymore. I think they'll be in the playoffs. I really think they'll be in the playoffs, but I just don't think that they will dominate anymore. Do I think they'll go back to the Super Bowl? No, I don't think they'll be back in the Super Bowl.
Right.
They will be in the playoffs. They'll cause problems. They'll win a lot of games this year. I would say they're probably a 10-7, maybe 11-6 team. They're not going to be 14, 15 wins. I can see them win 10 or 11 games.
Chuck, how do you feel about Kansas
They
City?
played some good teams too early. I still like them. They still look good. Patrick looks fine to me. He knows when to run, knows when not to run. He doesn't get hurt. As Greg mentioned earlier, their head coach, he still has creativity in that 60-some-year-old mind of his.
Yep.
I think Spags can call up a good defense when needed. I think they'll be okay. I thought that the Denver and the Chargers were going to be the class of that division, but now I'm not so sure about the Chargers. So I think they'll be okay.
David, you sold on Kansas City?
I'm not unsold on them.
Right.
They will probably, the way that division is looking, they can still win that division.
Yeah.
They can still win the AFC.
They're only one
West.
game back.
That's
Yeah.
right. Because the Chargers are frauds.
Right.
They're starting to look like frauds.
All right.
Denver, you know how I feel about their coach. They're not going to win anything. And
The silver and black.
The silver and black. I like the Raiders. Damn it, I like the Raiders, but they're pitiful. All except for Charles Snowden
Thank
III.
you. Thank you.
But otherwise, they're pitiful.
Right.
David, what are your thoughts about the running back for the Cardinals dropping the ball? Was it the same as the coach? The coach guy to me looked like he was celebrating. The Cardinals guy looked like he just wasn't paying attention. What did you think about that?
Let me just say this. I would say it was stupidity, but that's just too simplistic. It was a lack of situational awareness.
Okay.
He was not aware of where he was, and he's stupid. I'll just put stupid at the end of the sentence.
Oh, wow. Chuck, what did you think of that play?
Well, maybe because we're older and we have seen this movie before multiple times, and the running backs and the guys who are playing, they're younger, and maybe they haven't seen it as much as we have seen it. It's just amazing how that can happen, right? Just get to the end zone and then drop the ball, or so forth. And he was, even with about 5 or 6 yards to go, he was easing up, like run through the tape. Yeah. I just thought it was
stupid.
Yeah. I mean, it's unexplainable.
Greg, what do you think about it?
Okay, so I got a lot of thoughts on this. First of all, and I'm going to yield my time to the gentleman from Maryland at the closing comments. I'm gonna get it all out right now. I'm just let it all out. First of all, it was a fantastic run. That kid broke through that line of scrimmage like the Kansas Comic Gale says, man. He blew through there. He was rolling, and there was nobody. And I think he thought, I'm so far, nobody's going to catch me. But I think this is like the new celebration. Like, I beat him by so much I can just lollygag in the end zone and just drop the ball. But to your point, situational awareness, you have none. Now, let's get to the coach. Now, it's bad enough that you give him a tongue lashing on the sideline, but then you hit him in gut punch, and then you hit him again walking away. Now, when I see stuff like that, I've been on NFL sidelines, and I've seen from the smallest guy to the biggest guy. That is a bully move, right? So he didn't go up to the biggest offensive lineman and miss his block and punch him in the gut, now did he? Now, if Steve Mercado had snapped his little pencil neck right on the bench, this kid would have been fine, out the league, assault charge, career over. And I think about young players like Charles. Charles has been fighting and scrambling like a junkyard dog, finally gets his break. He's in the NFL, he's making it, and then he gets tested like that. What is he going to do? The only thing he can do is take it, because this is his career. This is what he's dreamed of, right? So this guy gets fined $100,000, and that's it. He should be suspended for at least 3 games. At least 3 games. You put your hands on players. So this is precedent setting now. If you're telling me I can go upside, I can do that, and all I'm gonna get is $100,000 fine. What if I make $10 million as a coach? $100,000 ain't nothing. That's like
who's going to suspend him?
The league should suspend it. The league should. But I think it's a bully move. I think it's not Andy Reid. It's not Mike Tomlin. It's this first year guy who hasn't even proven himself. You're gonna put your hands on the NFL player? Listen, the last thing I'll say is I spent enough time around these guys, from Charles Mann to Monty Coleman. These guys have
Dexter
in their hands. They can snap your neck. I'm telling you, man, you don't play with those. If you ever shake that Dexter Manley's hand, even right now, he'll break your hand in half. These are not men that you just hit. Like all pro athletes, they're so strong. You don't hit them guys, man. You don't do that.
I would say you shouldn't do that to another person in any situation.
Voice of reason. You're right.
Regardless of the size, gender, or whatever, you just don't do that. You're right. It's a bully move. My thought on that, I think David touched on the first, situational awareness. I thought he just lost focus. I didn't think he was celebrating or anything like that.
Right.
And I'm not sure it's that much different than what Chris Jones did on this play. Like he was just kind of wandering around there. Okay, we're gonna go to the lightning round because we're running out of time. I'm gonna hit you with a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna get your guys' reaction. Okay, Penn State falls to UCLA. UCLA was 0-4 coming into that game. David, your favorite coach is there.
David.
Penn State, what are your thoughts on that game?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Penn State fraud. James Franklin, I'm over it. I'm tired of it. You lost a close game against a great team in Oregon, but you get smoked by UCLA, who's in a interim coach, and
0-4.
and terrible at that. There's no excuse. I know you had to go to the empty Rose Bowl where only 20,000 people were in attendance in a 100,000 seat stadium, and you still got your ass kicked. I'm sorry. James Franklin should be in trouble. Gotta be.
Greg.
Since I took so much time on the last topic, I'm gonna make this real quick. To quote the late great Dennis Green, they were who we thought they were.
Chuck, I was going to give Penn State the benefit of the doubt because they played Oregon, who I thought was a better team than them, and they hung in there even though I thought they were dominated.
Overtime.
Right.
It's overtime.
Now I'm looking at the coach like, David, what do you think?
Well, here's the thing. They did have to fly 3,000. After that game, all that emotion, they did have to fly 3,000 miles. But they played one of the worst teams in Division I right now. That team, not only did they lose their head coach in the second game of the season, Deshaun Foster, they fired him, but they lost the offensive coordinator that week. The tight end coach, whose last name is Neuheisel, who is the son of Nick Neuheisel, who used to be the old UCLA coach and quarterback, he called the game. And they beat. It was 27-7 at the half. Penn State made it close in the second half. They just didn't wake up in time. They just didn't. I don't know. I don't know. I can't defend it, right? You just can't defend it.
Well,
So they went. So hold on. One last thing. They were ranked second in the nation at the beginning of the season. Texas was ranked 1. Clemson was ranked 4. All 3 of those teams aren't in the top 20.
Well, just in fairness to the ratings and how they're ranked, you can't judge anymore where a team is, particularly with NIL.
Sure.
You just can't do that anymore. And Penn State was overranked anyway. So was Texas because of Arch Manning, the greatest young quarterback of all time. And, stop. They ought to just stop the ratings, period. Let the teams build it up. But then again, you got situations where everybody's playing Little Sisters of the Poor for the first 2-3 games. Indiana.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Okay,
I just called
out
it.
of time. Look, we're almost out of time. So I'm going to give you guys some rapid fire. I just want your answers. Who wins this week between Indiana and Oregon? Chuck, we'll start with you.
It's going to be tough. They're a 7.5-point underdog, but I like Indiana. Of course I do.
Greg, who do you like?
Gotta go with Oregon. Sorry, Chuck. Love you, man.
I understand. No
David,
problem.
who do you like?
The Hoosiers. The
Oh,
Hoosiers. Even though they played the Little Sisters of the Poor, they're a damn good team. They did to Illinois is what they may do to Oregon.
Wow.
Okay. We're going to switch to Major League Baseball. Toronto versus New York. Greg, who wins that series?
I got to go with the Yankees. I had given up until last night. Them bats start ringing, and the slit lighter. If he's pitching
Goes tonight.
Oh, that boy's a cold. He's good. So I'm going with the Yankees.
Chuck, who wins that series?
What he said.
Okay.
What he said.
David, who wins that series?
Toronto.
Okay. I'm going with Toronto too. They've been smashing the Yankees pitching every game. They scored 6 runs and lost yesterday.
They got Slit Slider going tonight. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Seattle versus Detroit. Who wins that? It's tied 2-2 right now. Going to Game 5 in Seattle Friday. Greg.
Motown, baby. Tigers.
Chuck.
I like Thumper. I'm going with Seattle.
David.
Seattle.
Okay. David, staying with you. Dodgers against Philly. Dodgers up 2-0 in the best of 3 series.
Dodgers.
And Chuck.
Dodgers.
Greg.
Dodgers.
Okay, last one. Milwaukee versus Chicago. Milwaukee's leading 2-1. I don't know. I think when I started this broadcast,
The Cubs were up.
Chicago's actually leading the game.
Yeah, 4-1. I don't know
Okay.
who won.
Who do you
I don't
have,
know who
Greg?
won.
Cubs. I'm going with the Cubbies.
Chuck.
I'm going with the Brew Crew.
Okay. David.
Brewers.
Okay, the last one. Best of 7. The Aces are up 2-0 against the Mercury. One very close game, the first game, 3-point game, came down. My favorite player missing free throws at the end where they could have actually got the lead. Second game, 13-point win by the Aces. Now the series moves to Phoenix tonight. can Phoenix win tonight, Chuck? It was, it saved the series. 'Cause I know they fall 3-0.
Yeah.
It's over.
It's in Phoenix.
Yes.
All they've done is hold serve so far. So yeah, Phoenix will win tonight, but I still like the Aces to win the series.
Greg, who wins tonight?
I think Phoenix will win tonight, but I got the Aces going overall. And I'm telling you, when you said this a few weeks ago, Larry, that the Phoenix was going to give Las Vegas all they wanted. I wasn't sure. I wasn't buying it. Again, the voice of reason. You were right. And listen, they lost momentum. I think the problem with Phoenix now is they had them where they wanted them, and they let them slip away. And now I'm starting to wonder if they even believe they can beat Vegas now. Because I'm telling you, between the little guard Young and
Young throwing in 30 points a game too.
They're just too much, and they got it together, man. So yeah, I got to go with the Aces.
Well, I think it's a lot to ask because they'll have to beat them 4 out of 5 games. So I think it's a lot to ask for that. But I'm just asking for tonight. Can they hang in there?
Oh,
David,
I think they're hanging there tonight. Yes.
What do you think about tonight, David?
Aces win, and they will sweep the series.
Okay. Now that's all the time we have for the show tonight. So let's do the around the horn closing comments. And Greg Finner, we'll start with you. Closing comments.
I shot all mine on the question about the Cardinals, coach. So I yield my time to the gentleman from Silver Spring.
All right. Well, we'll go to the guy from Silver Spring.
Well, listen, mine will be quick. I spent the weekend in Indianapolis to the Raiders-Colts game. I just want to say kudos, high five, whatever the superlatives I can use in terms of the way the city of Indianapolis hosts sporting events. The stadium is downtown. We spent $30 on parking. We literally paid it in cash that day. It was right next to the stadium. Everything is within walking distance. I ate dinner at St. Elmo's. It is unbelievable. I'm just so impressed how Indianapolis hosts sporting events, and kudos to Indianapolis. And the arena, Lucas Oil Stadium, was fantastic. So there you go.
David, you can pay Chuck at any time, okay?
David, no problem. I was going to make a comment about what happened negatively in downtown Indianapolis, but I'm going to save that for another time. I'm just going to say kudos to Chuck Snowden for common sense and understanding Indianapolis. I've been telling you guys ever since this show started, this is what's happening.
Unbelievable.
We will have the NCAA again. And why we don't have the Super Bowl again, I don't know. When we did have it, we had 60-degree weather in February. It's a great town for sports. It is the sports capital of the world.
I had another friend who recently visited there, went for a convention or something. He thought it was great too. Said the same thing, told me that.
Thank you. I feel so much better tonight.
All right,
I don't even need a drink.
So thank you everybody for tuning in. Panelists, you guys did a great job. And we'll see you next week at 7:00 Wednesday for Real Fellas Talk Sports.
Thanks, everybody.